Hey everyone, it's Tom from Cerulean Bay. Welcome back. It's another episode of Tropical Escapes at Home. And this week, I'm going to get into some really great design inspiration coming all the way from Thailand. But before I do that, just a couple quick housekeeping notes here. I just wanted to remind everybody that the Cabana Lounge newsletter has moved to a monthly schedule. Trying to do it on a weekly one was just a little bit too much with everything else I've got going on over here. So the next issue is going to come out on Tuesday, October 7th. I'm trying to get it out on the first Tuesday of every month. So again, the Cabana Lounge newsletter, I will have a link for that in the show notes where you can go ahead and sign up for it. And it's a great little newsletter. It's just got some links to some really good design information, whether it's one of my blog posts or just something I've come across online that I really want to share. Sometimes I just focus on a particular room in the house and give some really cool ideas for that. And other times it's just some general tips about how to make a particular room look really cool, like when it comes to decluttering, whether you're a maximalist or a minimalist. I also do periodically share some behind the scenes stuff because I want people to know, what's going on this side of the microphone and things that I might be working on here, certain problems I might encounter, or just some noteworthy stuff so that you can feel better connected with me here. Because my goal here is to provide as much valuable info as I can. I want to help people transform their spaces to get from A to B. And sometimes that involves knowing what's going on over here. And I think it's helpful if you guys know some of the things that I run into as well. The newsletter also sometimes contains some great products that are linked through Amazon because I am an affiliate member with them. And then sometimes I'll include a really cool recipe for something, whether it's just a nice appetizer or a cocktail, some light snacks or something, just to really bring that whole tropical feel into a quiet little entertaining moment, or if you're throwing a full-on party, but just something that's really fun and refreshing and tropical. I have to include those recipes because life in the tropics does include a lot of entertaining. It's a very social way of living. So yes, and we love food and we love a good cocktail as well. So the newsletter does include some really cool stuff. And I'll do a monthly product review, and it could be something that I have found maybe out there in the world of retail, or it is something that I'm carrying here in my shop, which I'm promoting. I'm really focusing on just specialty items now rather than trying to carry like a real wide range of stuff. Again, this is just me, and so I have to be careful not to take on too much here. And when you've got a store with a lot of different SKUs, a very wide product range, it's a lot to stay on top of when it comes to inventory management and trying to source new items and then processing new orders on a timely manner and packing those things and trying to get them out. And it's a lot. So be sure to check that out at ceruleanbay.com. I've got a shop link up there in the main menu. And I'm going to also get ready to do a year-end sale, just so everybody is aware of that. And just to try to clear a few pieces out, but I just want to introduce some new pieces into the store. But we've got some warrior clubs in there and the cannibal forks. I've got a few kava bowls left up there and just some really cool pieces. We have our select seconds category, which are the gently used items that my wife and I will find at really nice consignment shops and good estate sales. And these are some really hard to find pieces, perfect items that'll maybe fill in where you find that you're just missing that one little extra touch of something in a tropical display or a tropical design. We might just have it in our select seconds category, so be sure to check that out. And I've also switched over to a new podcasting host provider. So I was with Alitu before, but I've moved over to Buzzsprout. So hopefully everybody is finding my show okay and able to resubscribe there. But Buzzsprout just has some extra features and functionalities that really suit me better at this stage of the game. So I have made that move. So moving on from there, what I want to do is get back into some design style inspiration and ideas. And a while back, I did some hotel reviews for resorts in Thailand. I had some very good sources, trustworthy people that I know who visited a few places over there. And then I was able to really do some in-depth research online about what these resorts are like, who owns them, are they really good places to stay? And this is in addition to checking out reviews. I'll look at TripAdvisor and I look at a number of other sites where travelers will go ahead and leave good reviews and bad reviews and things like this, and then just try and make sense of those reviews to make sure that any of the bad ones were really of a legitimate concern, because there are some people out there that travel and there's just nothing that's going to make them happy anywhere they go. And so I do try to filter those ones out, and you can tell who they are. But the ones that really do have a lot of 4 and 5-star reviews, and they're off the beaten path, they're outside of the touristy areas, those are the ones I really like to focus on. And I just thought this week it would be cool to focus on Thailand because they have a very unique design style over there. And while a lot of their furnishings and decor pieces do tend to be more on the ornate side, and when you get into a lot of fabrics and textiles, you'll find a lot of heavy use of color and a lot of patterned things, which can be too busy if you use too much of them. But the Thai style definitely has its own look. It has a very exotic look. It's very tropical, but there's just something about it which really makes it stand out from other particular cultures. And the other cool thing about it in general, when you're looking for both decor and furnishings, obviously you can find some big grand pieces and things that will take up some space in your room. But what I've noticed in my research with Thailand and just what they create is you can get a lot of smaller scale pieces. And these are really good when you just don't have a lot of room. Maybe you're working with a smaller space. Maybe you live in an apartment or just a home that just doesn't have big rooms to it. I think one of the reasons for this is in the interior design industry in Thailand, a lot of it is tailored for urban living. When you get into the big cities like Bangkok or similar places, you're dealing with a lot of apartment living, a lot of smaller spaces. And in my research, I've discovered that a lot of what is available there is made for smaller spaces, urban living. So I really like it. I think it's got a very unique look to it. So let's keep going with some of these details here. And then I'm going to actually get into some of the resorts too. And I'll have links to those resorts in the show notes, because whether you're deciding to travel or not, as I've mentioned before, some of these resort sites are excellent sources of design inspiration. When you look at the imagery, and these are beautifully done photographs and imagery because they really want you to come and visit, but there's just a lot that you can take away in addition to trying to book a really cool vacation. When you see a particular photo and it's just got a color scheme and a furniture arrangement or furniture design and artistic style that speaks to you, that's awesome. And a lot of these resort gallery sites are like that. But in the Thai style of design, obviously a lot of it does revolve around the tropics, very tropical climate there, beautiful scenery, beautiful beaches, which means they incorporate a lot of textures and a lot of natural materials. You're going to find a lot of woven pieces where they're using rattan and cane and bamboo and things like this, and natural grasses. So you can find bed frames and side tables and coffee tables and hanging lamps and just all kinds of things which are made out of these natural materials. And then when you pair those with some really nice linens, if you're talking about a bedroom and you've just got some really comfortable, nice linens on the bed, and then pair that with a great color for the walls or something, a darker color on the walls where maybe it's going to really make these natural textures pop. That's one thing that you will find in Thai decorating is the use of a lot of natural materials. There is also a heavy use of hardwoods when it comes to flooring and wood paneling. And these are beautifully stained pieces of teak and mahogany, or maybe other local hardwoods. But in Thai design, they do use a lot of wood. It's also in furnishings too. And what's nice about this is if you've got hardwood floors, maybe some wood paneling on the walls, and then you're bringing in some rich, deeply colored, beautiful wooden furniture, then that's where you can just pair it with some really nice floor rugs and other real colorful accents to just make these beautiful woods pop. So you'll find that in Thai design that they do that. A lot of darker colored pieces of furniture, maybe set on darker flooring, but then bright blue pillows, bright greens, bright oranges that they'll bring in. And you'll find a lot of their furnishings are just carved in a way where there's beautiful curves to the wood and rounded areas. And it's just, I don't know, Thai inspired furnishing just has a really specific look to it, and it's absolutely beautiful. And then when you get into things like their wall art, there's a lot of wood carvings. A lot of it is very religiously inspired because of the Buddhist religion. And they'll use a lot of intricate carvings, very nature inspired pieces. So, wood carvings are very popular in Thai decor. You'll find that a lot of interior design, not only in Thailand, but in other areas of Asia, are very Zen inspired. And so there's a flow to the rooms. And I don't know if they're really getting into the whole feng shui. I am not a feng shui expert, but there are times when the floor plans of homes are based on the idea of energy flow. There's usually the sound of water coming from a small fountain somewhere. Colors are balanced between lighter ones and darker ones. There's a heavy use of plants, interior plants and exterior plants, if you are looking outside. So there is a focus on mental well-being, creating a space that has a very rejuvenating effect on the mind. A lot of things that produce a very calming influence. And this ties in from the furnishings to the decor to the plants. It all pulls together to create a look that isn't just tropical, but it has a real soothing effect on the mind and the soul. And it's just one of those things. There's a real health benefit to it. Again, it's hard to describe, but I absolutely love it. So having said that, what I'm going to do here is, and I've actually got a blog post about this on ceruleanbay.com, where I've reviewed 5 adults-only resorts, and I do focus on the adults-only aspect for the most part. So while I do have some hotel reviews in the Caribbean, which are very family-friendly, a lot of my focus has been on work-life balance. And for people that have kids, they know how busy it is. My wife and I certainly knew that when we were raising our 3 boys. Vacations were very few and far between, and when you did have them, they revolved around the boys, and they're very active and they're very hectic. And when you get back from vacation, you feel like you need another vacation. So for all those parents out there, you know what I mean. So when I do my hotel reviews, again, I'm heavily focused on the adults only. Those tend to be primarily 18 and older. Sometimes it's 16 and older, depending on the country and how they define an adults only place. But it's so that you can get away. You can relax. You can leave the little ones with family members while you take a break, or however that works for you. But without further ado, the first resort that I want to mention, which really struck me as a beautiful place to visit based on what I've seen on their website and from a few people that I've talked to that have been, is the Liana Resort and Spa. And it is on the west coast of southern Thailand. It is in the Krabi province. It is an 18 and older hideaway that at last check had 57 luxurious guest rooms in there. This is a combination of suites and villas, and they call the decor style a real fusion of modern Thai and contemporary design. And sometimes when you think of design styles like Thai or like Balinese in Indonesia, or even certain styles that are found in the Philippines, where there's a lot of ornately carved woods, a lot of busyness to the design style, you would think, well, how does that ever marry up with contemporary style, which is usually very clean lines and minimalistic? At this particular resort, they've pulled it off. And when you go online and look, and again, I'll have a link in the show notes to this resort, I recommend it because if you are looking at doing a particular room in your house, or if you want to do anything on the outside with a particular patio space, or maybe you're having a covered patio added or some sort of an outdoor living room added, they've got some really good imagery here, which gives you some great inspiration. You can definitely see some clean lines in terms of the actual architecture, but then there's that Thai influence with the type of furnishings that they use and the color combinations that they use. So yeah, this particular resort has some great imagery when you check it out. Just some other information about this particular resort. It is also known for its therapeutic natural hot springs. And I think that's always a cool thing to seek out when you are traveling, is not only a great spa experience, because my wife is the one who got me into the spa treatments and they are just amazing. And then if you can find a place that has its own natural things like hot springs and rainforests and nature trails. It's just medicine for the soul and medicine for the mind. So yes, this one is very known for its natural hot springs, and it also does have a rainforest nature trail, which will take you to the Emerald Pool, where after a relaxing swim, they have an on-site restaurant where you can enjoy Southern Thai cuisines. So this particular resort has a very good gallery page, and I do highly recommend it. You will get some great ideas there about how to decorate with clean lines, keeping things very, very fresh, but bringing in a lot of that natural influence through a lot of woods and great use of tropical colors. So yes, the Liana Resort and Spa is a very good one. And the next one here that I'll go ahead and mention is in Koh Samui. That is probably one of the more famous places in southern Thailand. It is down in the south there on the Gulf of Thailand. And this resort is called the Explorer, and it is 16 and older. And it is located on the north shore of the island of Koh Samui, and the beach there is called Mae Nam Beach, and it looks absolutely beautiful. But this resort is known for its clean, minimalist style. There's a lot of very linear looks to it, and it's a place that has about 91 rooms and suites, 34 villas. It's got exterior entrances to the different rooms, which are all offset from each other, and it's got a real clean, modern look, but a very heavy use of tropical plants. So that I find very inspiring when people are trying to do some landscaping outside, and whether you're using a lot of in-ground plants or potted plants, depending on your climate, this particular resort's got some great ideas about how you can create different looks with plants against those exterior walls. There's really some absolutely beautiful inspiration in this site. And if you should feel so inclined to make the trip to visit Thailand, this particular beach, when you go to my blog post on ceruleanbay.com, I've got some great imagery there. And of course, I have a link to this resort as well. It's stunning. It looks like an amazing place to go and visit. And they've got some wonderful things that you can do there. A lot of the usual resort activities, the full on-site gym and the exercise classes. But this one's nice because you can take Thai cooking classes. They have Thai language classes, a lot of happy hours and social events out by the pool. So it just sounds like a lot of fun. I think Koh Samui is probably one of the more touristy areas, but based on what I've heard, it is definitely worth it. It is a very unique, beautiful setting when you go down there. So yeah, go ahead and check out the Explorer Resort at Koh Samui. So the next resort I'd like to introduce you to is the Shore at Katathani. And this is located in the southern part of the country, down in Phuket. It is on Kata Noi Beach. And this one, it's like a community of villas built into a hillside. The pictures of this place are really amazing. And it looks like there are about 98 villas, which are known to be exquisite in detail and in architectural design. They're very open and airy, and they are done in a lot of traditional Thai styling. They have canopied daybeds, which are set out on the edge of the infinity pools, and the pictures are just amazing. This place looks like it is ideal for honeymoons or any kind of dream vacation, regardless of the reason. This is a place I definitely want to check out. And it's got a great gallery as well on their website. They've got a good selection of activities, including the Thai cooking classes. And there's a lot of tours and excursions that are available at this particular resort. The restaurants are highly rated here. So yes, you should definitely check out the Shore at Katathani. And then moving on from there, the fourth resort is Beyond Khao. And this particular resort is for people 16 and older. It is located on the west coast of southern Thailand, and it is on Pakwip Beach, which is about an hour north of Phuket. And it is another one that's just stunning when you look at the pictures, the way they have the villas are set up and in proximity to the water. Here you have 177 beautifully appointed villas. It's very contemporary Asian design. So it's not just Thai. It kind of brings in some of the Malaysian style, and it looks like some Indonesian style based on the pictures that I've seen. But this particular resort, I think, is a little bit on the higher end. A lot of the villas have their own private jacuzzis, their own private pools. So you have a very secluded, very private, very romantic ambiance there, which would just be amazing. And this resort is known for its excellent spa services. And you can also book a private trainer there for working out if you prefer, for yoga classes and things like this. They've got a big, huge free-form swim-up bar and then a lot of events that happen out by the pool. They have a beachside barbecue, which I think would be pretty cool. And they also support their local communities through economic empowerment. And that's one of the things here at Cerulean Bay that we love, is when they involve the local community. Because you got to remember, I think pretty much regardless of any resort you go to around the world, the people that work there are going to live nearby. So they're in the nearby towns and villages. And when you get into these tropical locations, a lot of times it's very simple living. It tends to be rough. So whatever we as visitors to their country and to their resorts we can do to support them, I think is just one of the best things you can do, one human being to another. And what's really, really cool about this is where you're going to see a lot of the art, the handicrafts, the cultural aspect of it. You go to their cultural sites, there's always going to be some really cool shops. You can shop for local crafts there and get to know some of the local artists if you can meet them. See if you really are drawn to that particular artistic style. Don't just buy a few pieces and then bring them home as a souvenir. Get to know the artists, meet them there. Even if they don't speak any English, they typically do speak a little bit, but even if they don't, find out somehow if they're on Facebook. Find out if they have a website. Facebook, I have discovered, tends to be the most common thing that people do. I've noticed this in the South Pacific too. Most people don't have an actual website, but a lot of these artists do promote their work on Facebook. And if they themselves don't speak English, usually a family member does. That's how you can find out about pricing. You can find out about shipping. But because a lot of these trips are once in a lifetime for a lot of people, or maybe if you're lucky, you're going down 2 or 3 times, it doesn't have to be that way when it comes to sourcing local culture, bringing that home, bringing that into your tropical escape at home. Stay connected to people, meet the artists, meet the craftsmen, whoever it is that's producing what it is you like. Even when you get into things like jewelry and clothing, connect with the person who's actually making it. Stay in touch. Again, I recommend Facebook for this. There's a lot of things I'm not a big fan about with Facebook, but when it comes to connecting with artisans around the world, it is a wonderful way to do it. It really works. I've been able to connect with several people around the world who've supplied our little store. So yes, that is your tip for the day, is get to know these people. When I saw this, that this resort, they do this. They have trips to the cultural sites and to local villages. You can attend local festivals. It's just amazing. This is where you're going to meet local people, and you can really find out more about them, their cultural styles, how they live. To me, that just adds so much value. If you're going to spend all of your hard-earned time and money taking a trip halfway around the world, make the most out of it, definitely. But getting back to our resorts here, this one is beyond Khao-Lak. It is definitely one that I would recommend. And on ceruleanbay.com, I've also got links to the YouTube videos that a lot of these resorts have. They're just little clips, little presentations that are a few minutes long and show you the highlights. So a great way to go ahead and check out what these resorts are about. The 5th resort here, my last one, is a place called Bangsak Village. And this one is a resort for 12 years old and older. So you are going to have some teenagers there. Hopefully they're well behaved and they're not rowdy, creating a bunch of noise or anything, because again, these are tropical vacations. Everybody has their own time and place. So this particular place here, it looks like they have lots of activities for the teens to do. It is also in southern Thailand, about an hour north of Phuket, and it is known for its uncrowded beaches. They have a beautifully designed saltwater pool, and it's got incredible views of the Andaman Sea. So this looks like it's a really nice one too, kind of forested with a lot of the palm trees, and it's got about 70 rooms. And these range from different cottages and chalets. I'm not quite sure what the difference is there, but they are beautifully designed. The website is really nice. It shows a very nice fusion of traditional Thai influence and contemporary elegance. And it's that contemporariness, when you blend it with an Asian look, it's just wonderful. It really is just a nice way. The contemporary part of it just kind of tones things down, but you still have that real nice Asian vibe. In this case, it's that real vibe of Thailand is really still coming through. The pictures on the website are just beautiful of the accommodations that you have. And a lot of their rooms there, they open up onto various balconies. They open up into garden spaces. The views are just beautiful. And here you have a lot of the typical resort activities too. This resort is a little bit more remote, so it is far removed from any kind of shops and things like that, but the hotel provides a daily shuttle service to the town, and that is where you can visit various shops, restaurants, and bars. It is a good place to go if you want to get away and be kind of far removed from other people, from the local town. It seems to be a very quiet place to go. So that is your little tour of 5 largely adults-only tropical resorts in Thailand. And again, I encourage you to get on the websites, check out the gallery links. That is where you can get a lot of great inspiration. And then if you should feel so moved and you have the budget for it, you have the vacation time for it, take a trip. Even if Thailand was never a place that you've considered traveling, when it comes to the tropics, it isn't always just Hawaii. It isn't always just the South Pacific. It's not always the Caribbean. Asia has beautiful places. I mean, Thailand is one place I'm dreaming of going. The Philippines, too. I don't have a blog post done for the Philippines yet, but I want to do one because there are amazing places you can go in the Philippines, some of which are still open to the tourists. I do know in the Philippines, and I think in a few neighboring countries, the governments have had to close down some incredibly scenic places due to over-tourism, which they should do. They need to protect the local environments. If tourism is getting out of hand, then they need to tighten things down and make sure that these beautiful places don't get destroyed. So the Philippines is one place I do want to look into because I think it's got some of the most iconic scenery I've ever seen when it comes to the tropics. I just don't know how much of all of it is open, but I will do my best to get a blog post out sooner than later about the 5 top adult-only resorts in the Philippines. But yeah, it's places like this that are worth checking out. So with that, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode and our little audio trip to Thailand here. For me, I loved it. I just love talking about these things. I could talk about them all day long, and I could just cover all of these countries and the wonderful people who live there and the food and the culture and the art and the music. And it's just fun. You just got to get that work-life balance going and get away from your busy jobs and your busy family life and just take a break. And then when you do that, look at what you can bring back home to create your own personal tropical escape. As I said, connect with people there. Wherever you're staying at, find out if any of the art is for sale. Just talk to people. At the resorts, they're going to speak English, and they'll help you connect with local artisans and people who are known in the area for producing certain types of art. Tap into that. You won't be sorry. So with that, as I said, I'm going to have links to these resorts in the show notes. I'm going to have a link to the Cabana Lounge newsletter. I will also have a link to Tropical Design at Home, where there you can go ahead and schedule a 30-minute coaching call with me where we can talk about your tropical design project or anything about the tropics. $30 for 30 minutes. I think it's a bargain. There's also the Tropical Self-Discovery Assessment, which is a good look at yourself and what it is that you love about the tropics so that you can focus on those specific things and bring them into your home, whether it's through small design projects or larger ones. And then, of course, if you really do want to undertake a larger project, I have the Home Transformation Guide on there available. We've got it priced at a reduced price right now of $3.99, 12 modules full of valuable information that will help you transform any space in your home into a tropical escape. It really helps take you from step A all the way through step Z. A lot of resources in there, great reference tools, and you get 3 free coaching calls in there as well. So I think that's a pretty good deal for you. But create that tropical escape at home. Find a way to get the work-life balance going. You will never regret it. I guarantee it. It is a wonderful way to live. So with that, I want to wish you an awesome week. Lots of tropical inspiration, a lot of health and happiness. Be kind to one another out there. Look for ways to de-stress, and we will go ahead and connect again next week. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. You are awesome. Have a great one. Bye-bye.